Hi, everyone, and welcome to another week of Coach's Corner. Hope you had a great holiday week. We now kick into winter sports, and a lot of things are going on winter sports-wise. Some of those winter sports seasons have already begun. This week we'll talk with our swim coach, Amanda Porter, about her team and how they've begun their season. We'll also talk a little wrestling later on. Amanda, good to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Is this your third year as our head coach?
Fourth.
Fourth year as our head coach. Well, I know one thing about your program. When you go to practice and when you compete now with your new pool, it's so much easier.
Yes, it does make things a lot easier. There's not the commute and the hassle and all that. So.
I would think from a mental standpoint, and again, I never swam. I don't know how much that applies into it, but just the kids having something that's their own makes a big difference too.
Oh, of course. I mean, kids in any aspect need routine, and just knowing that every day it's the same thing. And the fact that we get to practice in the same pool that we compete in, because in years prior, we would practice at Conoco and then compete at NOC. Just the huge temperature change in the water. I mean, this makes it to where we are literally competing or training to compete.
Right. I know you've already started your season, but talk to us about how the numbers are as far as the kids that are out for both the boys and girls teams.
My numbers this year are incredible. I have 31 swimmers. Years past, I've had 14, 16. This year, I've doubled. I have 31.
Do you think the new pool has something to do with that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because, you know, you'd be surprised at the number of people in this town, even adults, that don't know that we have a swim program. Mm-hmm. And now that we're there at the Y, I always jokingly say I'm in the big fish aquarium. Because upstairs, the people that are working out and using the treadmills and stuff, they have nothing to see but down into the pool area and see what we're doing.
Well, so in 1 year, you've seen a double in your program.
Yes.
And I'm sure that as you go into the summer seasons and the sailfish, you hope those numbers get bigger and bigger.
Oh, and they are.
Each year.
Yes.
Well, that's an incredible statement about the new pool, and other than that, it's just a great place, I would imagine, to watch an event from, too.
Yeah. As you probably remember, our old YMCA had the above head bleachers. Our new one doesn't have that because, you know, we have the family pool and other facility that can be used instead of just spectated from. But we have bleachers on each side. I mean, and it's kind of exciting, especially for the swimmers, because it gets really loud in there when there's spectators there. So it's a great facility.
Let's talk about, and I know that diving was a big part of our swim program in years back, and I can't remember if because of the pool changes we haven't been able to have that part of a program, but is that back into our program now?
No, it's not. As of about 4 years ago, I believe, when I took over, Oklahoma no longer recognizes diving as a high school level competition.
Okay. Who are some of the young people we might talk about? Some kids that are early on impressing you.
Brock Wilson. He came out. Side, yeah. He came out this year. His brother is Tyler Wilson from football. You guys probably have talked about him. Brock broke his femur around Easter riding motocross, so he wasn't able to compete in other sports. So his doctor said swimming would be a good way to rehabilitate it. He's come out and he has definitely impressed us.
Wow. Yeah,
that's one that I can think of. Kaylee Gillespie, she's a softballer. And about 5 of the softball girls came out this year as kind of a cross-training off-season. Of course, Coach Parks convinced them. But she got in the water, and her and Jesse Parent both, I forgot Jesse Parent, they're both softballers that are going to be able to do really well.
Cross-training. Swimming's perfect, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely. I try to tell kids all the time, you know, football players, come out for swimming, of course. You know, kids are so set into their own sport that sometimes they're like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, it's great. It's one of the only sports that simultaneously uses every muscle in your body.
Well, it's also one of those sports where numbers help you in competitions. The more numbers you have, and I know that you've thought you've had good teams before, you just didn't have the numbers to be able to compete against maybe some of the big schools. That may change over the next year or two. Then.
Oh, absolutely. Last year I had an incredible team. We would go in and win every event. But when you don't have the second and the thirds or maybe even the fifth and sixth place in that event to back it up as far as points, you can have the greatest swimmers in the world, but if you don't have the depth there, you just have great swimmers.
Absolutely. Now, we've already started our season. I know you've had at least one meet. Tell us about
Two,
those.
actually.
2 meets. Tell us about those.
Our first meet we hosted at home November 8th, and we hosted Bartlesville and Enid. We came out second in that, which doesn't seem like a huge achievement, but in years past, Bartlesville has beat us by anywhere from 80 to 90 points, and this year they beat us by 28. So that was a huge accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. Our second meet, we went to the Tulsa Memorial Invitational. There was 15 teams there, and we brought home fourth.
Wow. You're seeing improvement all through the program, aren't
Yes,
you?
definitely.
What do we have going on now from now until Christmas, let's say?
December 6th, we'll have a home meet. Starts at 6 o'clock p.m. I believe, I don't have my schedule in front of me, I believe we're hosting Mustang and Kingfisher. Mustang's always a good competition for us because we're always equal in numbers. So, okay. And then December 17th, which is a Saturday, we'll be hosting the Ponca City Invitational. It'll be a big one.
That'll be your last one before the Christmas holidays.
Yes.
And, well, sounds good. Good to see you. It sounds like the program's going really well, and the next home meet December the 6th. So,
yes.
Okay, very good. Mark that on your calendars, and good to see you. We'll see you throughout the season, and much good luck to you.
Thank
and
you.
the swim team. Amanda Porter, she is our swim coach at Ponca City High School on this week's Coach's Corner.